I think we're seeing the fusion of games and and movies and video content and storytelling. I think those things are starting to fuse as technology is starting to make those experiences more and more seamless. And I think as we live in a world that's becoming increasingly devoid of meaning, people are spending 52 and a half hours a week on screens. They're spending a lot of time on social media products. But if you survey people, if you just look at survey data, people feel more isolated. They feel more depressed. They feel less connected. Fewer people are getting married than ever have. Fewer people are interested in having children. The Wall Street Journal just had an article come out about trends, at least in America, how fewer and fewer people are interested in having children. They're less interested in building community. And so we've seen, as technology has become more and more pervasive, as entertainment has become more pervasive, the values that people hold most dear are getting extracted out of where they're seeing it. And so I think that there is becoming a trend and a wave where people are seeking for deeper meaning and purpose in the content they consume. We have a rich universe. I was talking about our characters in the Rimverse. So there's Lucas, who's on my T-shirt. We have another character named Maple. She's on our website. You can watch an animated short about it. Maple's a bunny rabbit. She's a little girl. She wears a tiger costume. And the reason she wears a tiger costume is she's a bunny rabbit and she feels she doesn't get the respect she deserves. And tigers, of course, in the animal kingdom, they're fierce, they're ferocious, they're dangerous, right? They're intimidating. They're not to be trifled with. So she wears a tiger costume because deep down inside, she's a very strong, courageous person. But because of the way she looks, people just don't really take her seriously. And so she's incredibly precocious. And what she does is she goes out on a rescue mission. There's this forest nobody really ventures into. She hears there's a story about a child getting lost in the forest. She races in to rescue the child because she feels a really strong sense of duty. And also because in the Bible, God tells you to be courageous. A lot of people don't realize this, but the number one thing Jesus is quoted as saying is don't be afraid, right? So fear is not from God. But in any case, so we spend a lot of time, that's one example, crafting our stories, building our characters, building the lore, and then we've built a whole bunch of games and digital comics and video content that's tied into that. But I think the investment in developing the characters, developing their backstories, their personalities, each of the things that they're dealing with in their own lives makes for a much richer story as the content is played out. If you think about some of your favorite TV shows, serialized television has, of course, changed so dramatically in the last 20 years. The best shows are the ones where things are, well thought out and well planned out, and there's character arcs and story arcs that play through. The ones that are so disappointing to fans is where you invest so much time, and then you can tell that sometimes the writers cared less about the story than you did, and they took shortcuts or that the payoffs didn't make sense. So we invest a lot of time making sure that the development of the story and the projection of where it's going is done right ahead of time. At TruPlay, it's an environment where you can not only produce work that aligns to your values and calls to your purpose, but it's also really excellent and high quality. And one of the things that we did is keep the bar really high from a quality, from an excellence standpoint, because what you find, of course, is that the very best people want to produce great product. They don't want to produce something that had good intentions that doesn't look good or feel good or work well. They want to produce something that's really at the very top of the class.